welcome to another exciting episode of KOS. And this is kind of a weird one, you understand? Because a lot of times when you're doing a Spider-Man take, because remember, this is the 4 weeks of Spider-Man, I started my Spider-Man collection, and I thought about the iconic villains and, the Spider-Man that I like to use. I haven't come across a Spider-Man himself that I thought was worthy of my collection until the Spider-Man 2099. That's the one here, right? Beautiful statue, amazing statue. So I said, what's the first villain that I can show from Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery that shows Spider-Man, how can I say it properly? A villain. Hero is only equal to his villain. That's what makes a hero great. How great the villain is, how maniacal the villain is, how dangerous the villain is, because that shows you how strong the hero is. Well, this is a weird one because Venom didn't come along till very long in the tooth in Spider-Man's cycle. You see, Spider-Man was years and years without the Venom. You would think Venom was around earlier than that, but that's not the case. You see, how I was introduced to Venom coming to Spider-Man's universe, I believe it was Spider-Man 300, this issue, right? And before that, it was Secret Wars. Now, Secret Wars came about because they wanted to sell toys, so they had to get a story concocted around this whole toy theory, to get these toys in the line. So they made Doctor Doom, the Beyond, they changed a couple of characters' clothing, they had Wolverine toys. I love the Secret Wars toys. I had almost all of them. So in the Secret Wars comic book, what happened was the Beyond, omnipotent alien, gathered heroes and villains alike and placed them on this planet called Battle World. And what happened was they fought. So how Spider-Man came into contact with this suit was his suit got tattered in a fight, and he saw the heroes coming out of a hall, and Thor had a new cape, the Hulk had new pants, and which is absolutely funny to me, all the Hulk pants is ripped. And then Spider-Man was like, yo, where did you get those new costumes from? How did you get that? And, they pointed him down the hallway, and Spider-Man went into the wrong room, put this machine on his head, and he thought of an image, I guess, or whatever, and a little ball popped out, a little black ball. So, little did we know that from this little black ball, we would get the symbiote. All right. So out of this little black ball, Spider-Man held it in his hand, and it grafted itself on him. It merged on him. It flowed over him like mercury. And for a time, Spider-Man was wearing this black and white suit, and the webbing was coming out the back of his hand. And he didn't need web shooters because the suit was making the webbing. All right, so they get off the planet, they get off the battle world, and they get back, Spider-Man gets back to the world. Well, what Spider-Man didn't know, because he was waking up exhausted every night he'll wake up exhausted. What he didn't know was while he was sleeping, the symbiote would graft itself onto him and take him web slinging through the streets. He didn't find out until he saw something and it was like, what's going on? So he went to Reed Richards, and Reed Richards told him that the suit was alive and it was a symbiote and it was trying to bond itself with him. And they tried to shock it off of Spider-Man using sound waves. They got it off, and Spider-Man was happy, but the suit eventually broke out, got back to Spider-Man, and tried to take over Spider-Man because it lusted for Spider-Man. So Spider-Man went to a bell tower, and the sound waves in the bell tower cracked the suit off of Spider-Man. Spider-Man thought he was free from it. Now, here comes this infamous name, Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock was reporter, right? And he worked for the Daily Bugle as well, Spider-Man. Well, Eddie Brock was a disgraced reporter because he was following a story about Sin Eater. Sin Eater was a killer, mass murderer, and he pegged the wrong person as Sin Eater. He staked his life on it, his reputation, all this stuff, and guess what? He had the wrong guy. Well, Peter Parker had the right guy because he, caught pictures of Sin Eater, as Spider-Man, and actually revealed who was Sin Eater. So, of course, Eddie Brock's reputation is destroyed. He no longer had a job. He couldn't find work. So his hatred grew towards Spider-Man. So he's in this church. And while he's in this church, he was lifting a lot of weights at the time, trying to focus his hate, getting buff, getting big. Pause. And then when Spider-Man was in the bell tower and left, the symbiote didn't die. It just seeped through the floors and fell onto Eddie Brock and bonded with Eddie Brock. When it bonded with Eddie Brock's, we got Venom. Venom. Right? So that's the long and short of it, right? That's how we got Venom, and that's how Venom came into the Marvel Universe. And, this is where you see the difference between the MCU from the comic books that, it came on a meteorite from that failed Spider-Man 3 movie. And then Venom, the next Venom movie that didn't even have a Spider-Man in it, but did pretty decent, and it had a great depiction of Venom. Well, Venom in the books is amazing. All right, he's an anti-hero. He started off as a supervillain, and he became so beloved that people wanted to see more of him. So he graduated from just a regular villain to an anti-hero. So he's like a hero / villain, so amazing. Okay, well, let's get into this premium format statue that I got from Sideshow. And I believe this is one of the premier Venoms. There's a ton of Venoms out there. You have Prime 1 Venoms, you have Iron Studio, I believe, did a Venom. You have XM that did a Venom. You have so many Venoms, but I got this Venom because I thought this Venom captured Venom in its essence. Bounding, coming across the roof, stalking Spider-Man. It has 2 switch out heads. This is the Premier Edition, and it comes with 2 switch out heads. And I love them. I swear the exclusive editions on this stuff is amazing. You have one with his tongue out. You have one with the Todd McFarlane, Mark Bagley face. Beautiful artwork. The textures on Venom is amazing himself. The suit has the ripples. It looks like it's alive. You can see the merging with the toes. The base, I don't know. The base feels like it's metal. This is one heavy statue. So the base feels like it's metal. It's absolutely insane. I don't really like the puff of cloud, the smoke at the bottom. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But other than that, this statue is truly heavy. This statue is truly epic. And this is something that every Spider-Man fan and every Venom fan should have. Well, this is the part of the video when I ask you to like, follow, and subscribe. And also hit that join button. Yeah, do that for us. And also go to lordsofgaming.net. We have a ton of opinion pieces, a whole bunch of reviews there. And also we have hard gaming reviews from Lord Attic. Lord Attic is one of the best video game gamers today. And he beats these games like no other. We also have The Last Word with Lord Cognito and Ebontis, where you can get that looter shooter news. Destiny's on a rise, and we're having so much fun with it. So stick around, watch this video, and also look at all these wonderful pictures. See you next week, and always stay collecting.